Oh man, from the countdown, I see three, two, one. We're live, baby, live, baby, live. My man, Will, how you doing tonight, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing great, bro.
Man, I'm so
Doing
glad you
great.
can, I feel honored you can squeeze a little guy like me in tonight. It's an honor, man, to have you in the house. Well, welcome to the GG Factor, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, where we inspire you, empower you, inform you, and tonight we are going to educate you about what it means to have tenacity and the audacity to function in the capacity. He's my man, Will Covington. We go back 40 years ago. Make me feel like an old man, Will.
40 years. I'm an old man.
That's all right. You know what? You don't get old being no fool.
That's right.
No, without a doubt, man. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. It's an honor to have you, man, because I'm closing my eyes right now and I'm flashing back to 62nd Street and 7th Avenue in Miami, down in the ghetto where everybody was like hustling, man, back in the 70s, And sometimes, hey, we made a way out of no way, Will.
We sure did.
Hey, you still standing, baby. That's the bottom line. You still standing. So, hey, when I start that music, I got the big question for tonight from my man, Will Covington. He's the CEO from IMG Records, man. He's doing big things in publishing. He's been recording. He's got a Grammy. Man, I don't know. I don't even know where to start this, brother. He talking about why you have me on the show. I'll tell you why, because it ain't no lie. This man has been in this game 40 years. You can't stay nothing 4 decades and not know something about it. So even if you're not in the music business tonight, I'm going to make it official to tell you this. This guy is a game changer. His name is Will Covington. When the music stops, I always have that big question. My brother, how you doing tonight?
Great, man. I am doing great, and I'm just enjoying having a chance to talk to one of my friends that I've been knowing for 40 years.
How about that? Well, starting the show officially when the music stops, and the question is always simply 3 letters. What's your why, Mr. Covington? Why all these years that you said, this is where my passion, this is where my purpose, this is why I'm in the universe? Why music, man? What was your big why that got you in and you're still in 40 years later? Tell our audience about that. I'm going to shut up and let you have the floor.
Okay, well, my big why is it made me peaceful. Okay. It kept me out of trouble. It made me be able to help other people. It really did something for my family. It helped us grow. It helped me to change things in the community. It was just so much. It gave me a reason to live. That's why I'm still doing this.
Hello. Oh, man. You know what? All I can say is, man, I totally concur. I got a performance Friday night, Will. I'm still in the game, and I just tell people, may not be a rock star, but I'm still getting a paycheck, and I love the process. I forget I get paid sometimes. I go out and do it. I'm sure you can say the same things about all the years that you've been doing this. Now, are you still performing, or are you just doing the CEO thing? What's going on with you behind the scenes? I know you're a killer drummer. I know the whole story behind you. I'm telling everybody, maybe I'm going to go right into that. But also, are you performing, or you got off the stage, or what's going on with that?
I'm off the stage. People still trying to put me on the stage, but I have arthritis in my leg, so I'm not able to play to the quality that I would like to play. So what I'm doing now, I publish music. I actually synchronize music to movies and the TV. I know over 40 music supervisors in Los Angeles and in New York and all over the place. So I get a chance to put my music on TV, on movies, on commercials.
Yes, sir.
I produce groups also, though. I do that, and I'm always looking for young people who have the tenacity to never give up.
Hello. Oh boy, you know something, Will, man, is I put you on the spot because I know you ain't performing. I just want you to tell the story why. But when was the last time you were on the stage? And tell people right now, we might as well segue into my book with questions I got over here for you, man. The one,
okay,
that Grammy, man, and tell everybody how you got it, who you got it with, and how long ago was it. But that's an honor that right now gives you quite a bit of credibility to show up tonight. So how about that? Where did you get that Grammy? Who you got it with? Where you got it hanging somewhere? You in your car tonight, and I'm mad. I thought you had that Grammy on the back wall back there, like me and my wife, man.
No, well, you know what? We have rules and regulations when you belong to the Recording Academy. So we can't take the Grammy all over the place showing it to everybody. But one thing I can tell you, being able to get the Grammy was something that I never expected. And I got it being the drummer for B.B. King
Hello.
on his 50th anniversary album.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to tell you the story of how that happened. Okay, what happened is B.B. King was in the studio,
Okay.
but if you know anything about the Surreals and you know uh, Dixon, you know that he was the manager of the Surreals, and then Dave Crawford, who was the manager of Candace Staten.
Okay.
Well, these guys came to a studio that my wife and I owned.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
matter of fact, you know about this here. You know about this studio because you know we had the studio on 7th Avenue,
Exactly.
right next to you guys, not too far.
Hey.
Okay, and they came in and they said, "Will, can we use your studio?" So I told my wife, I said, you know, these friends of mine, they want to use the studio. So he said, okay, yeah, you know, I mean, she said, okay, go ahead, and we let them use it. And they came to the front door when they got ready to leave, and they said, well, you know, we finished, but we don't have no money. I said, what? They said, yeah, I said, you don't have no money. And then you know, I didn't really care because Gwen and my wife, we own the studio anyway. So I just said, okay, go ahead on, you know, pay me when you can, if you ever pay me.
Right.
I never thought about any money coming any kind of way. So what they did, they said, we will pay you. I say, okay, all right, well, whenever. 2 years later, they came back.
Uh-huh.
And when they came back, I had my hand out because I'm reaching out, I'm reaching for money.
Hello.
And they said, we don't have any money, you know, we don't have any money. But what we do have, BB King is at another studio waiting on you to come to play. I said,
Hey.
what? They said, yeah, BB King is waiting on you to come to play. Well, because I belong to the American Federation of Musicians, I had the right paperwork, which my
Uh-huh.
wife had put together for me to take to the studio
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can get the proper pay for studio work.
That's right. Union
Okay.
wage. Union wage, baby. Union. That's
Yeah, that's
right.
right. The
I've been in
American
the AFM.
Federation of
That's right.
Musicians.
That's right,
That's what I
man.
belong to. And so I went to the studio. And when I got to the studio, BB King was sitting on the sofa. So he said, or you will? I said, yes. And he said, well, show me what you got. I said, well, what you want me to do? He said, what I want you to do, I want you to play to this track without the drums being in, and you play what you want to play on this track. No
Uh-huh.
drums on the track now. Your drums is going to be on the track. I said, oh, boy. Because you know, I never heard the track or anything.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I said, oh, boy, I got to improvise now. I sat down on them drums and I started playing. And I started feeling the track. And I felt the track to the point of where he said, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, I said, you got it. Well, I played that particular song, Big Boss Man. But
Okay.
then he said to me, he said, Will, I got a question for you. I said, what? He said, do you want to play on the entire album? I said, you want me to play on your album, your whole album? He said, yeah. I said, if you want me to, I'll play it. And I'm gonna
Hey.
tell you something. I didn't give a heck about the money at that time when that
Hello.
point came up.
Hello. No doubt about that.
So I said, okay. So I ended up playing on his entire album,
Wow.
which was his 50th anniversary album.
You know, I want to say this,
Called
man,
Mac.
because
It's called
I thought you had just played on a song like you were telling everyone. And you had this one track, and that track
No.
was so big.
I
You ended
played.
up playing the entire album, man, which is an
Yeah,
honor. I
yeah.
want to say this to you, man, that at the end of the day, they couldn't have chosen a better guy because I know what you made of back in the day with us, you know. And that is why I open the floor like that for a reason, Will. My point is to everyone is that once you've done something and the world recognizes you, it becomes your credential. And this gentleman I'm talking to for 40 years, that credential has opened. And I know you can concur with me, Will Covington, that door has opened, that credential, excuse me, with that Grammy, I'm sure has opened many doors for you. And think, now that you told the whole story, remember the guy, Paul Harvey said, and now the rest of the story. I don't know if you remember, if you back in the day with me, Paul Harvey was one of those radio guys. He'll tell everything and then he'll say the rest of the story. And the way you just told that, man, you had me like, because when you said the brothers, they walked out on you at the studio, didn't pay you. 2 years lapsed, and look what happened, boy. God had a plan. God had a plan for you, my brother.
Yes, he did.
You know, well, and I gotta, you know that I'm so glad we talked off about 8 or 9 minutes with that. But I want you to know this, man. Now, tell everyone, since we're talking about the industry, when did you start IMG Records? When did you start the company? How long have you had it? And what's going on with you in that capacity as CEO?
Okay, well, listen, in 1980, we started Entertainment Galore.
Which I remember that one, of course.
And and Entertainment Galore was the first label we had, and I was the president of that company. Well, in I would say, well, no, I'm sorry. See, when you get my age, you forget. But in 2006, in 2006, we started Inferno Music Group, IMG Records. Okay? And the reason we started that is because in 2006, my wife, she was doing gospel, and I didn't want to vex her spirit because IMG Records, we did all kind of music.
Exactly.
we did everything. So what we did, we said, okay, Gwen, you take Entertainment Galore, which is EGI Records, and do all gospel. And my son and I will take IMG Records and do whatever music we want to do.
I got to stop you right there because that was one of my next questions about it being in the family. And now you just revealed to us that EGI Entertainment Galore, then you got Inferno Music Group, and then you got your son and you got your wife, and it's all a family thing, man. And see, that's why I had to have you on the show tonight, because people don't know the obscurities that are lying underneath what's behind this man. This man has been a hustler for a long time, and he stayed in this game. And you know something? When you mentioned 2006, we might as well say that's almost 2 decades ago. I was right in that same boat with you, man. We have UMG, the Urban Music Group, which we formed, and you know we had a #1 single with Rachel Brown. You know, and I remember you and I talked way back then. Your company was moving, our company was moving. I mean, man, we were doing this, we were doing that, and we were running each other. And, you know, there was that long gap between you and I just not even having, you know, no communication at all. But what I do remember, when you said 2006, let me tell you something, man, that resonated with me well, because I mean, we had to hustle. You know, we know what the grind about. We know what the grit about, you know, and at the end of the day, when you fired up and you focus like that, man, and you got a team of people like we have, man, myself, man, all shout outs to Israel Charles, all shout out to my man, JT Taylor, obviously to Rachel Brown, the phenomenal vocalist who made that song, Let's Fall in Love Again, a #1 single on Billboard. And you know, and at that time, man, let me tell you something, as senior VP for the label, you know, I'm now president of the label. I still have the label, and I do have big aspirations for it. And you and I, what was it, about a year ago, we met about the music publishing component? Was it? Yeah, and you know, see, that's why I had to have you on tonight, because when you and I met, I know you know Lawrence Howes, my man, rap. You know, and we got all these masters, and that's why I want to continue to segue right now, because people don't understand it is a music business, and they got all this archive music that's lying around, got to blow off the dust on it. But you can tell people right now, and I want you to talk about your publishing component and how does that work, because man, we got from the band Trauma, which was my original band that I did 2 albums with. We called them albums back then. I had a TK Records. that you know Henry Stone and Steve
Yeah,
Alamo and all the boys, and back there with Betty Wright and KC and the Sunshine Band. You know, we go back. You know,
of course.
and those days gave birth to these days because at the end of the day, you never forgot about the business of the business. So I want to segue right now from you sharing what you just did about your family with EGI, IMG, you, your son, your wife. You guys are still a family. You're doing it. I mean, man, I can't say enough about the fact that we all know it ain't the easiest thing to do to work with family. You know, I don't have to try
Oh, boy, that's hard.
not at all. But the fact that you've had the tenacity and you guys are still in the game, please give a shout out to Gwen, man, you know, and tell her I say hello. And next time I'm in Orlando, Florida, we got to do something together. But I want you to talk about what you're doing now with music publishing, with Sync Music. I wanted to shut up a minute because that's something people who are in the industry, once this episode is archived, they're going to know that, okay, this man talking about the real deal. So tell us all about your music publishing component.
Okay, well, when you're talking about publishing music, you're basically talking about making sure that everybody get a chance to hear it and that you're receiving your royalties from radio, when you put it on TV, or when you put it on commercials, or when you put it in movies. The publishing company is who makes sure that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what your job is as a publisher. Okay, and you will receive most of the royalties. Now, I want to say one thing that's very important. Everybody looking at the dancers and the singers and everybody on stage moving.
Mm-hmm.
But the people behind the scene,
yes,
there
sir.
are the writers and the publishers.
Yes,
Those
sir.
are the most money makers in the business, in the industry. Now, the reason Michael Jackson made so much money is because he wrote his own song.
That's right.
He wrote most of his own songs. Prince wrote most of his own songs. All these people that you hear, even Taylor Swift, she wrote her own song.
Yeah. She just went through a big legal battle with all of that, and she won in the end, though. Yeah, you're right, to get rights to her masters.
So the writers and the publishers make the most money. But then you have to learn the ins and outs of the business so that you can own your master. See? Because what happens if somebody else pay for you to record, they don't own your master. The studio own your master till they pay the studio.
That's right. That's absolutely
okay.
Right. Yep.
So you have to be able to pay the studio. If you go in there to record something, pay the studio, and you own the master. Make sure that you go in there with a hard drive so you don't leave nothing in that studio.
That's right.
And take it home with you. Take your music home.
You just said something. I don't want to cut you off, but when you mentioned first and foremost, people need to understand we're not music industry people. Define the term royalties to someone real quickly. Tell them you and I both know. We know it's the way you get paid, but we got to understand a lot of people are just naive to that reality. And the fact that when you say masters, you're talking about those tapes that the material is recorded on. Now, here's the thing: when you mention that, you and I remember them big fat boy 2-inch masters back in the day. Of course
we do.
I still got them upstairs right now. Now, here's the thing, man, that's scary about that. When you mention the word hard drive, you just made
yes.
It was one of my questions in here about the impact of what in the etiologies of beginning back in the day, and let's fast forward to 2025 where everything is digitized. So when you said hard drive, I had to stop you for a minute and say, that's something that's a totally different game in terms of how people are getting paid now, what they're doing out here in the business too. Because right now, most of the music, if you go on Spotify or CD Baby or iTunes or anybody like that, a lot of times people are just putting their music up on the airwaves just to get attention, get airplay. So what's the big difference now that you can speak to from that perspective? Or what was going on back in the day, and how does that impact your work in that digital community from a publishing perspective?
Well, from a publishing perspective, what I do, I know how, and I've learned how, and I studied the industry long enough to know where my royalties come from. My mechanical royalties, my sync royalties, my performance royalties, all the different royalty streams that I'm supposed to get. And I know how to get them. So what you have to do, you have to study to make yourself approved. Okay? So that's what you have to do. Now, far as being able to have your music on being published, watch whoever the publisher is to make sure that you know what he's doing. And because he I hate to laugh at it,
Yeah.
but he could take all your money.
Okay.
And then you'll be thinking just because you got a song, you making money.
Well,
And your publisher getting all the money.
You speaking truth, man. You speaking truth. Been there before, done that.
So,
back in the day with my first record deal, I don't mind revealing it to anyone. We were just so happy to get a record deal. We did not negotiate owning those masters that way. We did get royalties as writers and co-producers and all that, but the record company kept our masters as kids. I mean, I was fresh out of college. You got to understand, for me, I was just so anxious. I left FAMU with a business degree, man, and went into the music business in 1976. Went to New Jersey. Our guitar player back then, Andre Walker, man, who you never met because he stayed in Tampa. Family gave us a house to live in. And when we were just hungry for a deal. We were just hungry to make it work. So one thing that we learned quickly about it when we got down to Miami, but one thing that happened, and that is, and you know what? And it's one of the questions I had here about relationships being the new currency. And you already revealed that to me in a minute. You said those guys came to the studio, you played, they used the studio, they walked out, they didn't give you no money, but you had a relationship with them, you trusted them. And I always said that was a classic example. The relationship was nothing but your currency back in the day, my brother.
That's all you had.
And look what it worked. Look what it did for you. Let's fast forward.
Yeah.
Look what it did for you. So, I mean, do you still hold on to that theory? How many people back in the day, like myself, can you say that, wow, we still got a relationship. We still trusting each other to the point that that's our blueprint. That's our anchor. I'm sure you got some people like that other than the family, which is golden.
Greg, I got to tell you something. The people that I deal with, they have three things in common that I always search for: truth, trustworthy, truth, and actually being patient. You got to have that. You got to be loyal, trustworthy, and patient. If you got those three things, I can deal with you. Well, if you don't have that, I can't deal with you.
Hello. And you obviously found a lot of that back in the day. My wife just handed me a sheet that I got to take care of a little business right now. I got to let people know that every Thursday night, I always have my books here and I hold them up for everyone. You could be the lucky winner of one of my books. My master class is about passion and purpose and possibility. And the reason why I'm using Will Covington tonight is that because for 4 decades, this man has lived with passion and purpose and possibility. And the most important thing I want to share with you, you'll win one of these books, but you'll also get strategies on how to monetize your passion. And if Will Covington is not an example of that, I'm a frog under a brick right now, which I know I
don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and my point I'm trying to make, all jokes aside, you have shown people that when there's passion and purpose and possibility, they can do this. So every Thursday night, I put the link in the chat for anyone. I'm running a summertime special. I'm a 25-time marathoner, and I believe that mind, body, and spirit is the key to success. This is only one of my 25 medals that I got from running Disney, Jacksonville, New York City, Miami, all those marathons. And let me tell you something. You come into the camp for $49.99. It's usually $97 a month. I want people to know this tonight, that every now and then you need a mentor. Every now and then you need a coach. And Will, I know you've been that for many people. You got your program going tonight. That's why you're sitting in your car, because we're going to talk about that's the next part of this, what you're doing outside of the business, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But I want people to know this. I'm definitely in the business of being a mentor because I've had mentors. I've had people who poured into me, and I wouldn't be on this show right here tonight if it wasn't for a mentor. I wouldn't have my show on Thursday nights if it wasn't for a mentor saying to me, Gregory, I know you can. This is the way you do it. Get out there, get in front of the people, make it happen. And you know something, man, I can't look back right now. Quitting is not an option. So if you want the tenacity and the audacity to function in the capacity like my man Will and I call it that TAC mentality, because let me tell you something. Man, I was listening to a little bit of Steve Harvey today, and he was just speaking about mindset. He was just speaking about mindset. And to our viewers tonight, I want you to know that mindset is everything. And I'll help you on Thursday nights. Like I said, I'll tell you that time management matters. I'll tell you that taking action matters. So if you want to be a winner of one of these books, come on out, click that link. It's only $49.99. And I'm running something I call my 30, 60, 90-day challenge. You take, that's $150, sign up for it. And guess what? If you're in the music business, I'm putting him on the spot tonight too. You got a consultation from my man, Will Covington. And I know he doesn't mind talking to anybody about anything. Am I right about that, Will? You know,
you are absolutely right.
Hello, you know, so at the end of the day, not only this week only, if you come into the camp, you join the Get Activated community. The link is right there in the chat. And if you don't, you can see on my screen there, theactivator.net is my website. All you do is click on the homepage, click Get Activated Community. My Stripe link is right there, and I got you. And if you don't feel happy in 30 days, money back guarantee. Even in 90 days, I don't care, because I know that ain't going to happen, because life is always about the next level. And this gentleman I got tonight with me, you know, I love to bring in people from, should I say, the blueprint that I'm from. Love to bring in people who've been on the grind where I'm from. Love to bring in people who look like me, who people saying can't do it and can be the CEO and open doors for other people. I'm still dealing with that. I still run Gregory Griffith Productions since 1992, man. I've been in this town, and I tell people all the time, if you do it right and you're living right, everything's going to be all right. And I tell people that, and Will, you're an example of that. And the reason why I want to segue now back to you is because you're sitting in your car tonight for one reason other than what we was doing this last night. I want you to tell everybody what's going on right now, what's happening with you as a mentor behind the scenes with IMG, with you and Gwen, what your family's doing, what you're doing to help young people. Come on, segue into that with me right now. Holler at me, baby.
Okay, well, what we're doing now, we're doing what we call a Fun Tuesday.
Okay.
And that is getting all these young people together, and we teach them. Tonight, we're having slam poetry. We bring in people that teach them how to not be afraid to talk to other people. And we bring in slam poetry, and they direct them and teach them how to do it. But every Tuesday night, we do a different process. We have hip hop dancing. We have drumming for mental health, you know, and we have so many different things that we present to these kids to keep them out of trouble, to give them a goal to reach.
Oh, man, let me say, I got to stop you, Will, man. Kudos to you, man. You know, I'm a 31-year retired teacher. You know that. And the kids are my heart. I was just talking to my neighbor next door. He's got these two beautiful young girls. They're twins. And this young brother next door is such an incredible entrepreneur, man, that him and his wife, they're doing such an incredible job with these kids. But let me tell you something, exactly like you, man, they're pouring into the young minds. You know, back in the day, they didn't call it bullying when you and I was kids, but boy, it was a whole lot of that going on. Even on my days at FAMU, man, when I was in the marching band.
Yeah.
Boy, look here, I don't even want to go back there, but let me tell you something. Bullying has been around, but for some reason, it was literally obscured. Nobody, it was like a hush-hush, kind of like you had to be a man to take it and all that kind of crap. And see what you all are doing now. You're building that self-esteem component. You're building that social interpersonal skill component. You're building that, yes, I can, yes, I will, yes, I must mindset. You are building that, and I applaud you for it. I had no idea you were doing anything like that until you and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you told me, hey, I got this thing with the kids that I'm doing. And I go, wow, man, I got to make sure that I give them a platform to share that, man, because let me tell you something, Will. You know, They got an initiative going. I had one in my classroom for the last 11 years. I would put my fists up like this. And I saw it. I was in Tampa taking a walk, man, at L'Oreal Elementary School, man, and they had this big poster outside the school. It was right before school started. My mental health matters to me. My mental health matters to me. You might want to steal that when you go in and talk with these kids, because at the end of the day, we are mind, body, and spirit. And that is what I'm big on. I'm huge on that. People ask me, how do I run 25 marathons? How could I do that and still be a full-time teacher? How could I do that and be a real estate investor? How could I do that and still be the author of 2 books? How could I do that and still run a full-time entertainment company? Tenacity and audacity and the capacity to live in balance. And what you're teaching these kids is that they're more than just looking good. They're more than just feeling good, because whatever's going on up here, that's where everything is happening. That's why I said to you that mindset is everything. And I applaud you, my brother. I mean, it's when now that you've revealed to me more of what you're doing, you just kind of micromanage me about the facilitation of those services. I got to say to you, Will, man, kudos.
Thank you, bro.
You could be doing anything with your time, man. And you're making me feel like I got to do a whole lot more of what I've been doing. I've been on this grind with this, with this GG factor, and the master class is still performing. But I do want to reach back and get a little bit more into the kids. And speaking of that, which I do, don't get me wrong, because just a little over a year ago, I was MC and host for Best Buddies, which is one of the greatest little nonprofit organizations for kids with special needs. I just did a great interview with the boys clubs, who I'm an unofficial ambassador for. I came in for myself because I grew up in the boys clubs, and everything that you're talking about is what that club gave to me. And guess what, man? They interviewed me about Maru. Was that about 3 weeks ago? Or was it a month? Yeah, man. The biggest club here in Broward County. Man, I just had this guy, Jonathan Thomas is his name, and I'm hearing the way he was talking. I'm looking like he was on the show, Will. He was just on the show about maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. And he said, Greg, man, you got to come to our club, because I was a kid if I didn't have the boys clubs. And I bet you this program you got. What is your program called, man? Unconditional Plug. Tell everybody about it, Will.
So you want your name and lights.
So you want your name and lights. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Now, how long have you been doing this, sponsoring and doing this with the kids like this, man?
Well, I got to tell you something. We started So You Want Your Name and Lights in 2009.
Wow.
Oh, okay. But listen, what happened is when we started it in 2009, the older people began to want to be in it, because what we would do, we would have showcases.
Okay.
And the older people, we said, wait a minute, these grown-ups, they could pay for their own studio time. Because see, the winners, we would always pay for the studio time. But the older people got involved, wanted to start taking over. They want to start being in it. Okay. So my wife and I say, wait a minute, let's take a step back.
Gotcha.
So we stopped for a couple of years. We didn't stop actually doing what we were doing. We just reevaluated how we were doing it.
Exactly.
And so we said, this is for the kids.
So
from 9 to 18 years old.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we want. So we started it again, and we started with a church.
Okay.
We didn't have a place where we could actually start doing it, but we had a lot of people understood what we were doing. So they said, well, okay, what we're gonna do then, we're gonna give you a place to come and do the project.
Wow.
So we started doing it, and I'm gonna tell you something. God has blessed it.
Okay.
And it has grown. I mean, we started out with only doing. We started out with 8 weeks summer camp, and it went from an 8-week summer camp, and it dropped down to a 6-week summer camp. But not when it dropped down to a 6-week summer camp, we ended up having to go year round with what we're doing for the kids. So now we go year round. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're doing this Tuesday night, the Fun Tuesdays. We do I would say, an entrepreneur thing where we teach the kids how to start their own business. We teach them how to do an LLC, S corporation, or a regular corporation, or whatever kind of business they want. We give them money to start their business.
Oh
If
man,
they
this
want to
is so
sell
good.
popcorn,
I
if they
love
want
it.
to sell cotton candy, if
Yeah,
they want to sell shoes, have anything they want to do,
this
we
is
help them with that. And
let, wow.
if they stick with the program
Yes.
from, I would say, from May. I mean, well, not May, but I'm sorry, from August to
Uh-huh.
December, we give them $500 a piece. Yeah,
Wow.
if they stick with and we pay for them setting up their business. So as they get older, they'll have the idea of how
Business works.
to to set up a real business.
Now let me ask you a
Hmm.
question now. You said the
Uh-huh.
ages of 9 to 18, right? Did you
Yeah.
say 9 to 18? Now, are you a nonprofit 501c3?
Yes, we are.
Uh-huh. So that means we need to get together because obviously I have my personal empowerment recognition program. It's a 501c3. You see?
Okay.
So we can probably get together, man, and honestly, I mean, off air, we're going to talk more about this because you're
Definitely.
doing things, man. You're empowering our youth, and like I said, for 3 decades of my life, I mean, never made a fortune, but I know I made a difference as a teacher, and I'll tell people that forever. And I was just blessed that concurrently with a W-2, I became an entrepreneur. I never had to leave the classroom. Everything was pulling at me to leave the classroom or just stay totally in the classroom. I said no. I think I want to keep this duality going. And I'm grateful, man. I'm just
Oh
grateful
yeah.
because at the end of the day, of course, I'm retired now. I'm just blessed to have a pension and other things that are residual passive incomes for me. But you know what I got, man? I got my cognitive abilities. As
Yes, you do.
CEO, you got your cognitive abilities as a CEO. You've still got your skill sets. You still got your ability to hear and produce in the studio. Because I'm
Yes.
sure, just like me, just like you could have probably just let the business totally go and went totally in another direction. With my undergraduate degree, I mean, I'll tell you, man, clearly I couldn't have gotten into a job and just stayed in it. But my boy, that's why you're on this show with me tonight, my man. You had the passion, just like I still got the passion. Something in me tells me, man, don't get out of this business, man. And first off, the intrinsic,
Hey,
the
you
innate,
know,
it couldn't, it
Greg,
wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me.
you know what I do?
Yes,
I
sir.
tell people, I say, I'm going to die in it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to
That's
stay in
right.
it till I die.
You know something, man, but Will, the big difference in you and I is this, and I want people to know this. You had the tenacity that you did nothing but play music, and I respect that about you. You just decided, I have 2 sons, Greg Jr., Jonathan, beautiful granddaughter, Alyssa. That's why I was in Tampa last week, man. And I was trying to get over there to see you before I came back the way, but it was a crunch play. But here's the point. Let me tell you something, man. You are an example. And I open this show and I'm going to close this show the same way. When you have a passion, the universe will say that's something that you have your purpose. And when you have passion and purpose and you knock on that door out there in that real world, and there's something about that the possibilities, the P3 theory is activated. Passion, purpose, possibility. We'll see. You have been there for me, baby. I want you to know this, that I knew you would reveal things I didn't know about tonight. And man, it's been my pleasure. I can't believe we're already about 40 minutes in. And I just want to say this to you, man. When you speak about the kind of things that we're talking about tonight, that is why I have my show on Thursday nights, because people sometimes don't understand. Even in your job that you're working right now, I want people to hear me real clearly right now. Even in the job that you're working right now, you never know if you do something on your job that one day you might become a marathoner. You become a winner in another arena. Now, I'm going to give you an example of me. I became a full-time teacher. I walked out my classroom one day, Will, and I saw 40 kids. And I always say, man, I wonder if I could work with these kids or get into doing some cross-country coaching or something, because I just love running. I had already, my mindset about running, it was a non-negotiable. That's
right.
Something, and my point to all of it was this: God had a plan, just like with you. I walked out there, I talked to the coach. I said, hey, man, I just love running, man. Can I just help out. Man, oh man, Mr. Griffin, your timing is perfect. We need a head coach for the girls, Will. And the rest is history. I went on to coach cross country 7 years. And guess what? My first marathon, I started at Flanagan High School in 1996.
Wow.
January of 1997, I ran my first marathon in 3 hours and 40 minutes. And I ran 2 marathons. For a full decade, I ran 20 marathons in 10 years. And let me tell you something. The only reason I don't even run marathons now, I had a meniscus surgery 4 years ago. And here's the point. Inside the scoop of that, I found that. And I found this. Here's another thing that people don't understand, and you're talking about it right now. I didn't realize when I wrote this book 20 years ago, I had no idea that this book would become an intellectual property that would pay me for the rest of my life.
Yes, it will.
Sell this book anywhere. I can go out and talk to people about it anywhere. I can do special events with this book. I can and I've had incredible book sales with Barnes and Nobles already. To everyone tonight, you can get my book at Amazon.com. You can also get this book at Amazon.com. So my point is this: you've got intellectual properties like my man, Mr. Covington, that you can monetize. That book got placed in all vocational schools, Will. This book got placed and endorsed by the assistant superintendent of schools. Okay. And here's my point again. If you love it, if it's your passion and your purpose, the universe is going to give you possibilities. I went in, did a 20-minute talk, got a 5-digit check. I'm not going to lie to you, 4-digit check. I got about $7,000 to speak 20 minutes. They put all the books in all the vocational schools. I can say to myself that I never, ever would. And you know how I started? All I wanted to do was motivate kids. And
there you go.
People to know where there's a chance for you to monetize your passion. Now, the only difference between you and I, Will, and I applaud you, my brother, you stayed on the music business track. You said there is no plan B. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, IMG CEO, Back Entertainment. When you said entertainment galore, I lit up because that's what I knew you as, my brother.
That's right.
Entertainment galore. You know, I knew Gwen back in the day. And then when you tell me the story about how you got the Grammy, I'm so honored that you were with me tonight. And I want people to understand I'm fired up like this. I'm still focused like this because it's from a place of passion, purpose, and possibility. Will Covington, I'm going to wrap this thing up tonight. I want you to do the last hoorah, hoorah. I want you to tell people more. Where can they find you? If they have a demo they want to send you, what's your website? What's your email address, your office number? You got it, baby. Go right ahead.
Okay, my website is imgrecords.net.
.net, all right.
My email address is infernomusicgroup.wc@gmail.com.
Gotcha.
My phone number is 321-662-9039.
All right. Nobody got no excuses. That's all I can say. And let me tell you something. This man was talking about music publishing. And I want to, and Will, this is one of the main reasons why I had you do that. This man ain't no joke. What do they call it, Will? Vintage music? Is that what they call it?
Oh,
Vintage
yeah.
Music?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. If you got some old school music that's lying around on the shelf that you need to blow off that dust, take those masters out, that's money in the bank, baby.
It is.
Look, man, I was watching Target the other day, and they say flashlight.
That's right.
And I said, wow, man, they was playing Parliament Funkadelic on a Target commercial. Come on, man. Come on, Will. And that's your arena. You can place people, vintage music in a publishing deal. Hey, shout out to you. She was on the show too. Jessica Alvarez was on the show talking music. Music Sync.
Yeah.
And didn't you and I and her have lunch at what was that? The Aventura Mall in Miami?
Yes, we did.
I'm telling you right now, baby, this is no joke. If you want to know something about music business, this is my man right here. I'm going to shut it down. When I start the music, that means the show is over. But, man, let me tell you, don't you go nowhere. I got to holler at you a minute when this thing is over. Boy, let me tell you something, man. I could go on with you all night, my brother. The fact that you know something. Let me tell you something. When you said 2006, and I knew 2007, I had Urban Music Group. You had what? Your Infernal Music Group. And the bottom line is, we both were out there. And when I looked up, a year later, had a #1 single in Billboard. And Rachel Brown was singing that song all over the country. Actually, global. You know, down in the Bahamas, you know, up in Canada. I mean, everywhere you can imagine, man. And the point is, man, back to what? PP3, baby. If it's passion and purpose and possibility, my man has just been an example tonight. I love you, my brother. George Wallace say, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. Thank you. And I ain't going to try.
I hear you, man. So until the next time, hey, this episode will be there. Remember, every Tuesday night, the GG Factor. We inspire you. We empower you. And never forget this. And this was on my classroom door for the last 11 years I was a teacher. The only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. If you say, I can't, it's a sure shot that you won't. But if you just say, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I must trust the process. This gentleman right here is an example of that. Don't forget, every Tuesday, but every Thursday night. We need more followers on IG. Go over to Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I got you. Come into our master class on Thursday nights. But we're looking for some more people to come into the master class. Hit that Zoom link. All you're going to have to do is DM the word Strive on Thursday nights. And let me tell you something. Those empowerment sessions are priceless. So, my man, till the next time, I know it's going to be a next time. I want to invite you back because, you know, I'm building my brand. I love what I'm doing. I'm excited about it. And all I can say is that people like you keep me fired up that I'm doing the right thing. So I'm going to end the stream right now and say to everybody, hey, I want to say good night to you. Thank you so very much for being with us. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. It was all right, Will. Let me make sure I end the stream here.